The COVID-19 lockdown has not just impacted any particular sector in the auto industry, it has affected the industry as a whole. Today on Mashable Outreach, we've got Mr. PB Venugopal, President Lexus India, who talks to us about how this pandemic has affected the luxury car industry in particular. Hello, Mr. Venugopal, welcome to the show. So, how has work picked up for you after the lockdown?
So at Lexus, we say that we are not in the automobile business, but we are in the people business. So It's a new normal for us. We are not used to working from home. So the last 3 months, we have been working from home, and we have been trying to connect with each other. So even though we are having extended working hours, but the good sign is that we are being highly productive, and we are also trying to strike a balance between work and home. And the interesting thing is when you actually move out from one room to the other, so you have very limited time to actually switch from one mode to the other.
Yeah.
Whereas when you actually move from office to home, you had the travel time to actually unwind yourself and settle down to a home environment.
Yeah, so correct.
Experience for us. This is on the personal side. But when it comes to the business and when it comes to the market, of course, during the lockdown period, it was quite tough. The entire business came to a standstill.
Yeah.
What we did was we tried to engage ourselves with our guests and with our Lexus relationship managers through a hope campaign called We Can, We Will.
Yeah.
So the purpose of this campaign was to engage and empathize and also connect on what Lexus is all about. And we cater to the needs of our guests.
Yeah.
Once the lockdown period was removed and then we started operations, what we now see is a new normal where there is start and stop of certain cities. This is where we need to quickly adapt ourselves, which we are learning, and we are trying our best to adapt very quickly and respond very quickly to the needs of the market, especially to our dealer partners as well as to our guests. Give you an example, we launched the first made in India Lexus on 31st of January this year.
Yeah.
Received some overwhelming response.
Yeah.
March 23rd, when the lockdown started, so there were quite a few of our guests who have been waiting for deliveries. So once the production restarted in the middle of June, so we were able to quickly see what best we can do for our guests who have been patiently waiting to receive the India Lexus, which is the ES. So this is how we are adapting, but our core focus is keeping our guest in mind. Always see what is expected from them. We are preparing our guest experience centers, our service corners in such a way that we compromise anything, so that we are able to give the utmost best standards for our guests who walk into our guest experience centers, or when we visit them at their workplace or their residence. So this is how we are trying to adapt ourselves during this period.
Online car sales, do you think there's a possibility of that in the future?
Before I speak about our particular segment, which is the luxury segment, I would like to talk about our country sentiment as such.
Yeah.
We are all, car buying is a very emotional scenario where we would love to go along with our family and friends. There are many things like marriage, car buying, or buying a new house. These are all experience for us, and it is a kind of an achievement for the Indian people. So from that perspective, we still believe that there will be some amount of visits to the showrooms and service corners. But at the same time, because of this pandemic, the behavior is changing, and there is an expectation of more digital experience.
Yeah.
From this point of view, since we are in the people's business, that at every customer touch point, we need to have the emotional as well as a digital content. So we want to call it as a phygital experience for our guest.
Yeah, exactly.
What we have seen in the last 4 months, so the guest to have a experience at his place, whether it is residence or whether it is his office place. Something to mention about the Lexus philosophy is that we build lifetime relationship with our guest. So we don't call it as a business transaction, but we would like to engage with the guest through the entire life cycle. So we have guests, even after taking delivery of our cars, have come to the guest experience to have a cup of coffee with our Lexus relationship managers. That our guest will have already started coming after we started the operations. We believe that that trend will also continue as far as Lexus is concerned, because philosophy we work on as the spirit of omatanashi, which is actually treating guests like in our own home. So that's the trend that we are seeing. So there will be, we as an organization, we need to balance between the digital experience as well as also the face-to-face and human touch experience that we have been providing to our guests.
Alright, so how have your imports, your production lines been affected because of this? What was the exact number of days that you guys were under a complete lockdown?
For Lexus, you know our product range, most of our products are self-charging hybrid electric vehicles, and we have the ES, which is locally produced in India. We have an import cycle, which is very structured, which is based on customer orders. There have been a delay because of the lockdown period, but it has not majorly affected us, except for the delivery lead time being extended by about 30 to 60 days. But thanks to our guests who have been very patient, and they have accepted this condition, and we were able to cater to them. So this lockdown period, we had strictly followed as per the government guidelines, and we started operations only when we got clearances from the Karnataka government to start up the local production. However, the imports continued because we did not have any issues that we faced for the imports from Japan. So this is how we managed our supplies during the lockdown. The thing that I would like to mention during the lockdown period is, so we have many of our guests who have been wanting some service support. So there have been places where we were not able to physically reach to them, but we were able to connect through the virtual medium and able to resolve their issues. And where we get clearances, we had the roadside assistance, and we had our Lexus care managers and Lexus relationship managers reaching out to them and solving their issues. So this is something which has been very well appreciated by our guests, and this is where they feel that we really believe in building a genuine lifetime relationship with our guests to cater to.
How has your dealer partner response been like around the pandemic?
A bit about our guest experience centers. We have 3 guest experience centers and 7 authorized corners, service corners. The guest experience centers that we have in Delhi, Bangalore and Mumbai. And we have also on 31st of January announced the expansion of guest experience centers in Hyderabad, Chennai and Kochi. Dealer partners are also the Toyota dealer partners, and part of the Toyota service facility, we have a dedicated workshop bay, which is customers with a exclusive Lexus launch. So this is how we have been operating in the promising Indian market. And during the lockdown period, we had many discussions to relook at our business plan in terms of restructuring the cost, and transparent system by which we understand each other's challenges and as one team to quickly put in strategies so that we can overcome these challenges both from a short term as well as mid to long term. One thing that we would like to assure you is that our dealer partners are with us, and we are very confident that this is going to be a temporary phase. And India is a very promising market, and we stay committed for investing in India. And we will see that the luxury market slowly growing up from the second half of next year.
What are your plans for the Indian market? Any future launches coming soon?
So from our product range, so we already have almost all the products from the Lexus portfolio. And if you look at the sedan, we have the executive sedan, the ES, and the LS. And from the SUV portfolio, we have the NX, entry-level NX, the RX, and the LX. And except the LX, all other cars are self-charging hybrid electric vehicles, because we strongly believe that we are an organization contributing to the environment. And every vehicle that we sell is actually carbon neutral for our customers, because we grow equal number of trees to make our owners carbon neutral. And on 31st of January, along with the Made in India ES announcement, we also announced the launch of the LC500H, and it's already been delivered to one of our guests in Coimbatore. So the product launches, what we announced on 31st Jan, is in place already, and also the expansion plans that we announced in the next 4 cities, we are sticking to that plan. There will be some amount of delays for this guest experience centers to come up because of the workmen which have moved to their hometowns. And other than that, we don't anticipate any delays, and we stick to our plan.
Tell us about the government expectations. Has the relief package benefited you in any way?
So one thing that we like to appreciate about the government initiative is on the focus of Made in India and vocal about local.
Yeah.
Also the Skill India.
Yeah.
So this is what gave us a lot of encouragement and confidence with which we launched the ES in India, Made in India. Explain the background. When we talk about Skill India, so as you know, the Lexus Production system goes into a lot of detailing and ensures highest amount of quality. And it is about how well the team members are trained to make a Lexus, and we call that as Lexus quality. And every process, team member himself owns, so that he is fully empowered to reject or accept a process.
Yeah.
A special team was selected from India and was sent to our mother plant, which is in Kyushu, Japan, and they were trained by the master craftsmen. And after going through a regular test, so this entire evaluation took a 6 months to a 9 months period. After that, only the approval for Make in India was done. So this clearly shows that the government initiative of Skill India as well as Make in India is very good, and it's actually it will support the Indian economy.
The auto industry in general, we saw a slump in 2019. Where do you see the industry going in the next 6 months, or probably in the next 1 year? What are your projections for the new normal?
The current trend that we are seeing in the last 3 months is, I think, the auto industries, from a larger perspective, there is a drop of close to about 45 to 50%. And but if you see the various research firms' data analytics, we see the curve slowly going up. But with this intermittent lockdown coming in some specific cities, like for example, Bangalore is going to be closed from tonight. And we heard that Pune is also going into a lockdown. So this probably will continue till such time when possibly a vaccine is introduced and the complete the virus is kind of eradicated. So if you look at it from that perspective, this year we will continue to see some ups and downs, but it is much better than what we saw during the complete lockdown. So purely as my perspective, we see that it will probably take a year at least for the market to completely recover. And especially in the luxury car market, we see that the trend will be much more slower for the recovery, since the priority for our guests would be more on terms of their enhancing their business, to recover their business and also to take care of their employees.
Correct. So you're saying it's going to take a year for things to slowly come back to normal.
That is true. But what is very promising is that India is one country where there is young population, and there is also high net worth individuals are also growing exponentially. Mm-hmm. And we will also become more stronger with the structured reforms being introduced. And that's the confidence with which we continue to keep investing in the country, and we stay committed, because a growth pattern from a mid to long term point of view, rather than looking at the short term setbacks that we see right now.
Coming to your personal front now, any books that you've been reading?
Okay, one book which is very close to my heart is I had an opportunity to attend the worldwide Lexus conference in the US last October. So we had an opportunity to visit the Danny Meyer's restaurant where we were gifted a book on hospitality. And that book is very impressive. I would recommend the readers to have a look at it. So this is about the EQ, the emotional quotient, and the HQ, the hospitality quotient that we are talking about with each and every employee, which actually enhances the business value and relationship with our guests. So very impressive, which actually caught to my mind is the dots and connecting them to make a proper business proposition with proper relationship. So it's very interesting perspective as far as I read this book a couple of times, which is quite interesting for me.
What about shows on OTT platforms? Any particular show that you've been binging on?
So with this work from home, while the positives are that we save on travel time, but we also have some extended meetings and we actually work very long hours.
Of course.
Only in the on the weekdays, probably I get some time to catch up with some business news, and sometimes I pick up a game of chess with my daughter. But during the weekends, of course, I get some time with family, and I love watching movies, not particularly any shows as such, and I'm trying to watch some of my favorites again. So the recent watch was the movie Terminal, Tom Hanks' Terminal. So I watched it again, and that's how I spend some time during the weekends. And as part of my usual routine, we are part of the Runners High community, where we run. At the same time, our run contributes to the community, and so we keep healthy, and we also try to contribute a bit from our side to the society.
A parting message on a positive note.
So, as I mentioned earlier, that our country is going to grow, and we need to stay positive. We need to individually take care of our health as well as that of our family and friends. So when we try to support each of our community, I think the bonding as a whole for the entire country will grow. And this has brought in a good reality check for us that it is important to respect each other and support each other. So that value system I can see in a very simple community where I live, that I could see younger people trying to support the elderly during the lockdown period because many of their children are living abroad. So that kind of attitude will grow. I think our society is also becoming more cleaner. One of the articles that I read was sitting at the center of Delhi, now we are able to see the Himalayas. So the environment is becoming more clean. From our perspective, we feel that Lexus being a self-charging hybrid electric vehicle and being carbon neutral to our guests is one way of contributing to the environment. So priority will be on cleaner environment, the healthier living, and supporting each other with a strong bonding in the community and maintain our positivity. I think we should track to fight any kind of pandemic, and we grow together and be successful together.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us today. This has been a great chat. We've got a lot of insights from you.